Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Check out the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. We got a number of books that have joined up with us and have incredible sign-up offers for you to play hockey with that first deposit. Get on board. Go to the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. Click the link, sign up, and have some fun with us.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast with your hosts, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas and Cam Stewart in Toronto. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Monday, February 22nd, 2021. And now live from Las Vegas, your host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
All right, folks, we're glad you're with us here at the Hockey Betting Podcast. We're starting a brand new week. What we generally do is we get you our preview and our thoughts for the games on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Coming out of the gate, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas, Cam Stewart's in Toronto. So we will talk about Monday's game, and then following the NHL's lead, we'll have 8 hours of dead air, and then come back with Tuesday's preview, followed by another 8 hours of dead air. So this podcast does, you could kill the whole damn day listening to this thing.
Yeah, that's the best. Hey, Brian, I got an opinion. We are expecting technical difficulties. We'll see you tomorrow. I don't understand. Can you believe this stuff? Wow. Me and you were talking about what is going on here, the sun, the ice, the slush, and everything else. It's like I told you, me and Gabe used to laugh like we love the game, but these guys used to go to the brass rail. Hey, I got an idea. I got like 30 scotches in. Let's do Saturday afternoon. We'll get the Leafs going. It's like they put their schedule on a cocktail napkin, these guys. Like, they're unreal.
I know, it's like the Golden Knights new gold helmets.
Oh yeah, good idea.
It's like were they serving moonshine at the focus group?
That's right. Hey, that's the best. See the commercial for that show, Moonshine. He's like, I don't know about this pandemic, but man, I'll tell you, fire in the hole. I got a stimulus check. Fire in the hole.
All right. So
anyway, let's roll.
We don't want to be the two guys that told you so. But I mean, the truth of this, we got real quick. God bless them trying it, Lake Tahoe. I love the fact they try, you try something. But again, the Calliope music should have been rolling at all times during this thing. On last Monday's podcast, in fact, we talked about it even before then. But on this podcast, last Monday, we said, here's the forecast. Play the under in the Golden Knights game on Saturday.
Yep.
Because Fleury and Grubauer are 1-2 in save percentage. But the game on Sunday, the forecast calls for this big yellow ball in the sky, and the glare will be a nightmare. And they even moved the start time back for the Sunday game. And in the blink of an eye, it's 2-1 because at the one end of the rink, the goalie's looking into the sun. And like, how it's beyond description. It's like you're this jerk making fun of them. But we talked about this last week before they even put the boards up and they were building the rink. How could they not take the sun into account when we were talking about this last Monday?
It's funny. Like, it's me and you, too, right? It's like all these
the
scientists and guys from the NHL can't figure it out, but me and you can. Well, we have a real problem with our future then. But I will say this, Brian. I was so busy waiting on that damn playoff in that golf and waiting for monies to come in, and they didn't come in. I would have banked up the Brinks truck. We hit that. That was the best call by you. The Boston to the over. God, man, what I think 10 goals. It's like, oh, my God. Like, honest to God.
In an outdoor game.
Yeah. If Homa hits a 3-foot putt, I'm probably rich today because I was waiting and I didn't have the money to go on that game waiting for the money because the guy misses a 3-footer and I got to wait in the playoff and I didn't have my accounts credited. But anyway, I'm happy we get a win. That's all that matters. Great call by you. And people listen to Brian, what he's talking about. This guy knows especially with totals. You knocked it way out of the park there, Brian. It's hilarious. If this thing ever happens again in a situation like this, like the minute you find out, just blindly go to your bank, say, how much can I take out, and just bet it on the over.
Well, but the big picture and the serious thing was this league is so lucky. And for them, it wouldn't have been Nick Hague or, a fourth line guy. Could you imagine if McKinnon blew his knee out in
it's over. Yeah, exactly.
No,
you bring up a good point. Like if a star got hurt, that's the end of that. And the thing is, like these guys, it makes me laugh because they're trying to get the picture postcard thing, and
that's all they wanted.
Oh yeah, all these big media guys, lovely, beautiful. Yeah, and the best is all our followers texted back. Yeah, is it beautiful when you see big holes in the ice and guys are going to break their neck? Like you guys have no clue what you're talking about. Stay in your lane, cover other stuff. Don't cover hockey if you don't understand what the hell's going on. That's the problem with the mainstream.
The whole thing.
These guys wanted to, the whole thing. They wanted to make it a picture postcard. And you're going to kill somebody. I know.
Here's what they wanted, and you nailed it, my friend, because I tweeted it out at 7:43 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday night. The NHL and NBC, they tweet out this beautiful picture postcard of the rink, the trees, the sun, the lake. And there were two guys on the rink. They were still finishing up working on the ice. I said, well, there, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. That's what this was all about. They wanted their postcard picture. I said, there it is. There's the picture. Zoom in to see if the two guys on the ice are wearing water wings. But it was all about the picture postcard.
It was, and in the league, you guys got to learn from this. I think you bring up a great point. We'll get to the betting. You got lucky that something stupid didn't happen. I mean, very lucky. And next time you do it, don't worry about the aesthetics. Worry about the content, the game, and everything else. I know everybody. That's the world we live in right now, and I deal with it in a lot of different areas through other jobs. Oh, gotta look this way. Gotta look this way. You know what? The content's more important. So get it together. Bingo. Shut up and figure it out. Let's rock.
Amen. All right. Back to hockey. Like indoor fast hockey.
Yeah. Now we have rinks. Hey, there we go.
Calgary and Toronto. Toronto's $1.70.
Oh boy.
This Calgary team, man.
They're a train wreck.
I'm sorry.
But don't know what, Brian? What does this smell of? This is exactly what we talk about. This smells like a Sabres Devils Game 3 when everyone's down on them. Calgary, coach coming out, you guys suck. They lay an egg against Edmonton in the Battle of Alberta.
I know.
Gutless. 6-game loss. Leafs feeling good about a Montreal win. I'm telling you, man, this game, the whole world's going to be on Toronto. Look at the price, too. It's not even $2. This game has danger written all over it from top to bottom.
Danger, Will Smith. Danger.
Yeah, danger.
Are you too young from that?
No, I've seen that show. I know what you're talking about. What the guys on the moon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stupid computer. I'll tell you, I would have knocked that guy out a lot of. Shut up. You got another tip for me? I'll give you a tip. How about the Calgary Flames at plus 130? Hey, it's hard to back these guys right now. But, Brian, doesn't this seem similar? And that's the one thing, me and you can go on memory. This seems very similar to the game where they played after getting smoked, embarrassed. They were ridiculed, and they went into Montreal and won a 2-0 game, a perfect game, in fact. Who knows? Does Calgary, do they have the guts to do it? But I wouldn't be rushing people thinking this is a lock with the Leafs. Every lock has a key.
Well played. That was very, very Socrates of you.
Thank you.
I'm curious. First of a 2-game set, the total 6.5. I know the Leafs have been better in their own end, but I mean, do we go with the premise first game over, second game under here?
I guess, but I'm a little bit worried, Brian, that Calgary really. You're the totals guy, and you're better than me. I just think Calgary's really going to try to step down and try to play a real defensive game and try to win like a 2-1, 3-1 type of game. They can't get in. You know what? They can't get into a track meet with Toronto. That's a bad move. It doesn't work for them in any team they've played. They've tried that strategy. It won once this year against Edmonton where they came back. It hasn't worked for them. The games they've been good in, they played good defensively. They've won 2-0, 2-1 type of games. I'll tell you, for me, I actually might take a shot with the Flames. I don't want to tell people this, but this game has got problems written all over it. I would not. This is going to ruin a lot of people's nights tonight. No. Calgary wins.
And by the way, don't be apologizing, for swinging for a big dog. And if you lose with a big dog and you had reasons to play the big dog and somebody laughing at you for taking it, oh, okay. I love when they put the little smiley emoji. Nice pick, Cam. Oh, yeah. It's real easy to pick a $1.90 favorite.
You know what the best was too, Brian? Some guy sends me a tweet, and actually I went off on some rant about trolls, and it was nothing about my picks. I hate the society we're in, like these keyboard warriors. They never want to say anything. Everything's crap. The world sucks. It's just I had enough, just dealing with these losers and trolls. And this one guy comes up to me. I go, Max Homa. If Max Homa wins this golf tournament, I'm going to go to the supermarket and destroy seafood and whatever. He's like, Max Homa's not going to win the golf tournament. I go, then who's going to win the golf tournament there, smart guy? Like, you know what I mean? If you come at me with something, tell me who you think's going to win. Matthew Fitzpatrick, the Brit who barfed all over himself on Sunday? Oh, okay. That's the thing. Like, these guys, you know what I mean? If you want to come at somebody, you better have something else. That's all I'm going to say, right? Like, I'm supposed to get a smiley emoji. Yeah, I'm taking a 2-1 dog and it doesn't win, and you got a problem with it? Shut up.
Well, the analogy would be like shoveling your sidewalk, and by the time you get to the end of the sidewalk, the part you already shoveled has 2 more inches on it. Does that make sense to you?
It makes too much sense. God, I was like the neighborhood pariah before. Like, I'm taping this show. These guys are already out there shoveling. I'm just sitting there, big banks at my place, and the snowplow hits me on the corner too. So like, I could literally build like a castle and live in it for a while if I was a kid. So I got a lot of problems, Brian. After this, I got to go attend to the neighbors and snow situation. But I'd say I'm actually might take a shot with Calgary.
Buddy boy, this one is absolutely on my dance card tonight, and that's the Kings at St. Louis.
I know what you love. You love the over in this game.
I love the over in this game. The Kings are on a 4-game winning streak, and now listen.
We live with each other, Brian. Like,
I know.
I don't know. Maybe me and you should move in with the guys with the bunk beds, and Lisa and Marie can go get their own place.
Well, the funny thing is when we get to a certain golf tournament, right? As an aside, because we used to do the golf podcast together, and you do your thing. You call it the 6-pack. I could guess 3 of the 6 guys that would be.
I would say 4 or 5 sometimes. Yeah, you're
good. But based on the course and you know, and no, we know each other. And here the Kings have won 4 in a row. They scored 6, 4, 3, and 4 goals in those games. And now, albeit against not just they play this one team, they scored those 4 goals in 4 games against 3 different teams. They're putting the puck in the net. It's the first of a 2-game set, and they're feeling their oats here, and the total's 5.5, and St. Louis has more than enough firepower, and Sammy Blaze back on the ice. I love the over. It's on the card. I love the over in this game.
And I like St. Louis in parlays, too. I don't like the juice, but this team has been really disappointing. And you saw what happened in that game. They were down again, Brian, the same story, down 2-0 to San Jose early, like a couple minutes into the game. They come back. They're down 4-2. They tie it and lose 5-4. It's like, what is going on with you guys? Like, I'm not getting the goaltending and whatever, but LA feeling good about themselves, and I'll give them credit. But St. Louis is a better team than them, and the way they've been playing, I see St. Louis, you're right. Like, I see a 6-3, 6-4 type of hockey game tonight. This game could get to double digits, and I like the Blues, but it has to be parlayed or regulation because the juice is pretty high at about $1.75 right now.
All right. I honestly, they are very evenly matched. Colorado's just sensational when they're healthy. And, oh, by the way, McCarr came back into the lineup the other night. These guys have just played 3 games in a row. Vegas is at Colorado. Colorado's at $1.35. The total is 5.5 to the under. I'm not going anywhere near it. But here you go. You're going Grubauer and Fleury again. Fleury's been playing all these games. At some point this week, not now, because this is the team you got to beat in the division. Leonard supposedly is close to coming back. If not, even Oscar Danska's got to get in the lineup here because they're running. You can't run Fleury into the ground. But, you know, I don't know what you do after the gong show we just saw. They played 3 consecutive unders. The total's 5.5 to the under. I just wonder if getting off the slow outdoor rink back inside, these guys aren't flying up and down the ice. If I was a contrarian, you had 3 straight unders. I'd take maybe a minute shot with the over.
I agree with everything you're saying. I'm going to be contrarian too. So look at the games. Everyone thinks the Calgary game's going over. I actually lean under an underdog. St. Louis and LA, I agree with the over in this game. Everyone's thinking it's going to be a 2-1 game. I couldn't agree more. They're on an outdoor rink. Then they go to like the speed, and they're 2 of the fastest teams in the league. So if the goaltenders don't stand on their head, there should be 6 or 7 goals in this game. It's 5.5 right now. I lean Vegas. I lean over.
Yeah, another great game. And so far, Colorado's taken 5 of a possible 6 with a lineup that wasn't 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, and Brian, just earlier notes on the Leaf game that I'm seeing right now. I think there's some major injuries with Toronto going into this game too. Like I think they got Muzzin, I think, is out for tonight. He's got like major problems. Like he's got a broken bone type of thing going on. So so Muzzin's out with a broken bone in face. Thornton and Hyman are day to day. Like, so if you like Calgary in this game, at least, the Leafs might have to call up somebody. They've been playing great hockey, but Muzzin on the blue line is huge for them. After that, it ggets real tin. This could be a danger spot for the Leafs tonight.
All right, we got a lot to get to.
Yeah, we do. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I mean, we got a lot to get to, but very quickly, you brought it up and made me think of it. Let's not gloss over this. What is going on with this goalie interference thing? You had the Leafs. Yeah. The Montreal gets a goal where basically the goalie's pad kind of got pushed in, but they're whacking away at it, and it's disallowed. Then an hour later, you get the exact same situation in the Edmonton game. I will say this, that Tkachuk got pushed into the goalie much more than what happened in the Montreal game, but it was basically the exact same play. And if you're going to, penalize these, what do we say every day? If teams are going to be success, go to the blue paint. You got to get in there, and nobody hits anymore. If you're not going to let these guys whack away at a goaltender like that, yes, protect the goalie. I get it, where he has range of movement. But if the puck is loose at his feet, what is the guy supposed to do? He's jamming away at the puck.
Exactly.
How is one not a goal and one is?
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. Sorry, Brian. I just looking up and see I have a meeting to attend to today. Okay.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, you've been involved in a few of those. I'm with you. I think the goaltender interference stuff sucks. If the puck is loose, you should be able to do what you want other than throwing the goaltender. And what do you want the guy to do? He's sitting there. His job is to put the damn puck in. Then they already have pads the size of, they're thick as a house. Like, it's not like the old days where they're wearing newspapers on them. Like, give me a break. They got enough equipment. They're protected. It's fine. I don't know what this league's doing. Get it together, guys. But you know what? The forward, what do I got to start a movement? Forwards have rights too? Well, they do, because you know what? Their job is to score goals. Don't just accept the fact that the goaltender is going to make the save all the time. Pisses me off.
But put yourself in the shoes of the forward in the blue paint, and the puck. It's like here, take a nice little tap. The Happy Gilmore, just tap it in.
Tap it in.
And you're sitting there going, the puck's there, and I'm going to jam this thing real quick right now, because in about a millisecond, I'm going to be pulling splinters out of my teeth.
Exactly. You said it, man. They only got one chance to get it, and you got to get it right. So, NHL, if you're listening to this, listen to us about the Lake Tahoe stuff, and this goaltender interference stuff is a bunch of crap. So, next game, Arizona. Yeah.
$1.60. Well, is Arizona $1.60 over anybody? I mean, the price
Arizona,
is too high.
I know what I've learned about Arizona. They're a great dog and a horrible favorite. They proved it every single game against the Kings and whatever. And you know what? You can bet them with my money. They'll probably win this game tonight because they've been so bad. But until that price gets under 50 cents, I can't even consider it. So I'm going to pass on this game. As for the total, I'd probably take the under. It would be a 2-1 type of game. Anaheim can't really, light the lamp. And Arizona's been playing, they're having problems scoring goals and I don't know, 5.5. I'm going to pass on this game. There's better stuff out there.
All right, I got one that's on the card. It's coming later, but let's go to Dallas and Florida. -1/4, 5.5 to the under. Florida, listen, man, so far, this is the real deal. They, lose the last. What did I tell you, Cam? It's just, again, please, you got to make your own decisions, folks. And when we say just blindly consider, at least the thought process is a starting point, and I'm looking at it now. We said over in the first game, under in the second game of a new series. What did we say, Cam? When a team is on a 4-game road trip or longer, by the time it's the end of that trip, these guys have mentally checked out. They want to get the hell home. They want to go see their wife and their dog and their kids and the blah, blah. Here you go. Look at this. Florida, they win 6-4 at Tampa, 4-3 at Carolina, 7-2 at Detroit, and the last game of the road trip, their head was already on the plane, and they lose 2-1. Yep. All these things we've said, and I'm not looking for pats on the back. We're looking for you folks to make money.
No, I couldn't agree more, and that's the thing. Yeah, the last game of the trip, that's what people do. And you ever notice the dogs come in on the weekends more because people just go, yeah, I'll put that in the parlay and that in the parlay. And, we've been victims of it too, but you got to think. Bad teams in the NHL win games. Take a look at Detroit. Take a look at these teams. They win games.
This was not Detroit beating them. This was Florida going, I don't want to be here. Right? I mean, if you look at the road trip, they scored 6, 4, and 7. Then they scored 7 against Detroit, and they lose 2-1. Not because Detroit play this great game because Florida was already on the plane.
Yep, I agree 100% with you, buddy. So I don't know what to do with this game. What? I don't know, man. Dallas, Florida,
I would say
over.
Probably over, but I'd take a little look at Dallas.
I would too.
Now Dallas has not played since February 13th. The only frame of reference we've got is that when they come off layoffs before, they played great.
The thing is this. So what did Dallas do during the power outage situation, right? Did they practice?
Oh, now that's a good point. That's
the thing. Like, where are you going to go? It's not COVID. It's a power outage, right? So did they go to the local rink and practice? How much time did they have? I think they probably maybe squeezed one in, but I'm not betting Florida. This line's too light. It's telling me something. I'll look at Dallas, but I don't love this game at all. The next game, I don't mind, though. Brian?
Buddy, I'm like I said, I got the 39 browsers open. I'm here. I'm here, Cameron.
I thought you disappeared. I'm like, oh, God, here we go.
No, buddy, I'm here. No. Tampa, Carolina. I
lean Tampa in this spot. Carolina's favored. It's just one of those situations, and I love Carolina, but I think Tampa Bay, if you're giving me Tampa Bay as a dog, they have to be considered. Don't love it, though, Brian, but that's the way I'm leaning in that game.
Yeah, I'd like this Carolina team. They're so good.
I love them.
They're better games on the card for me. Let's double check real quick. What do we got? We got a goalie matchup: Reimer and Vasilevsky. Man, it's a big number here. I'm staying away. The game I like, Cam. I really like the over in the Minnesota San Jose game. The two games I liked, right, was the game at St. Louis over, and you're looking at this Minnesota team. They're finally starting to play hockey again, and they're scoring goals. They beat Anaheim 3-1. They put 5 up on Anaheim. I don't know, buddy. I just think this Minnesota team is a sneaky team that can get you some goals. And they keep jamming at 5.5 at you, although there are 6s out there.
I like the over.
I like the over,
but I think SJ Sharkey is going to be in a little bit of a good spot. Like this is the game we talk about. Like, just don't automatically put Minnesota on the card. Should they win, they're the favorites. But San Jose's been, Brian, they're one of those teams. Like Minnesota feeling good after a couple wins against the Ducks. I'm not so quick to bet on Minnesota in this spot. For me, it would be San Jose in the over. But I like your over more.
I mean, honestly, the beauty of, by the way, part of the beauty of the playing the totals, Cam, is the time management aspect of it. Like the second outdoor game, as soon as that got to the 6th goal, like I went and watched a replay of Jeopardy. I already went to bed. I don't have to watch this for another hour and a half.
You don't. No, I agree with you 100%. So what are we on to the next? Wow, it's actually nice. We actually have a card the next day, too.
We do. Now, here's the deal. The hockeybettingpodcast.ca. We've got all the introductory offers for you, a number of books on our website. We've got articles there for you now. Our producer, Mike, is thankfully, Cam, he's occupying himself a lot more with the website and leaving us alone. And he's working hard on the new website, and there's a lot of cool stuff that's there, articles along with. But click on the links and the banners and the introductory offers of one of the books. We appreciate them all being on board with us. Play along with us, sign up, and you get a running start and, give you some free cake to make some bets. That's a concept.
You're damn right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, roll it in, Brian, and, take that money that you won from the over in the Boston-Philadelphia game and get it started. And, there's a few things that we like tonight. It's actually beautiful to have a Tuesday card where that's what the thing that drove me nuts. We got 9 games, 1 game or 2 games. Like it's a nice balanced card. You get 5. I'm fine with that number. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect number. 6.
Let's mark this one down. Like maybe see what happens on Monday night. Okay, if Calgary beats the Leafs, all right. Now, how's you going? What is this idiot saying? If Calgary beats the Leafs, then, you sit there and you say, well, there was a reason why maybe that happened. Because Ottawa got beat 7-3 and mortally embarrassed. Oh, by the way, Cam, that was the last of a 5-game road trip for Ottawa. They were mentally on the bus. They didn't want to be there, but they got embarrassed. And then they come back and beat the Canadiens 3-2.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It falls into, I I told you I had a lot of things going on Sunday, so some games I didn't get to, and I really regret. I left a lot of money on the table. I'm pissed at myself. But here's the thing about Ottawa: this game actually clicks all of our boxes. Last game of road trip, embarrassed the night before. I like to use that stuff. Everybody can come up with their mathematical equations and Corsi and this and that. Sometimes you need to give the eye test and you got to understand what the hell's going on. But you knew Ottawa was going to be, they were going to be ready to battle and they get it done, Brian.
So let me ask you.
I love coming to teams after they get blown out. It's just one of those things.
They got blown out and they won the game. But they are what they are. Here's where it fits. The water finds its level thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now Montreal's going, really? We lost to these guys? I mean, do you play Montreal on the puck line here?
Yes.
It's the only way to play them. I mean, they're $2
or regulation. You play Montreal regulation, puck line, or parlayed. Even at the price, it's not even. Remember, we had to usually play like earlier on the season when Ottawa was brutal. The books are figuring it out. They're not that bad. You're not laying $3.20 anymore. You're laying like $2, and that's something I can. You get a dance partner there. It's definitely plus money. Montreal will get their revenge. I agree 100% with you, Brian.
Pittsburgh and Washington. Washington minus a quarter. The total on the game is 6. Let me just do a real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let me skate over to the standings. Let me just current form here. Caps 5-5 in their last 10. They got off to the grenade start, and they've kind of just been this up and down, in and out. Or the team that's actually they're not like setting the world on fire, but they're better than they were. Pittsburgh, of late, right? Hey, Pittsburgh, right? Look out, Pittsburgh's won 2 in a row. Pittsburgh's 5-4-1 in their last 10. I don't know. They hate each other. It should be a good game.
Should be a tight game. I wouldn't be surprised if it went over, but I'm not going to at that number. I'm not going to play it. I have a lean to Washington. Don't love the game, Brian. So let's move on with that one. That's a tough game.
How about Chicago and Columbus and the Blue Jackets minus a quarter at home, total 5.5?
I did something Saturday night, and it's interesting, Brian. Just another tip for everybody. You go on these sites and you see Buddy's free play of the night usually loses. Everybody on one side usually loses. And I never saw a more popular play than Columbus after beating Nashville first game. I'm like, I'm betting Nashville this game, and Nashville won 4-2. It's hard to do that stuff, but you got to do it every once in a while. Teams are not just going to continue to roll them. This spot, I think Tortorella will have the troops ready to go. It's a short price. They're a better team. Got to give Chicago a lot of credit for how they played, but I like Columbus in this spot. Very low price.
Are the goals hard to come by in that game?
Yeah, I would lean under.
Oh, here's 2 teams you can trust, Nashville and Detroit. Nashville minus $1.40.
I don't know. By the way, if they're capable of winning 2 games in a row. I'll look at Detroit. You know what? I'll Brian, I can tell you this. I'll look at Detroit as a dog long and hard, and I hope everyone bets Nashville.
I would look under in this thing. Detroit can't score. By the way, the for sale sign's pretty much open in Nashville. I mean, like, burn it down.
Yeah,
I think this team is starting to get moved.
It's unbelievable. They are not threats anymore. They had their window of time. It's done. Expect the Predators to be a bad team for many years moving forward. They had their chance, and I see in line. I kind of lean Detroit in that spot, Brian. They're at least one thing you say about Detroit is they're gritty. They can give you an honest effort.
Edmonton, Vancouver. Edmonton minus a quarter on the road. Total is 6. Edmonton seems like they've figured something out.
They have. I know I was talking to my buddy about this, big Oiler fan, and he's been making a lot of money betting on this team. I think Edmonton has figured it out. It could be a dangerous spot against Vancouver, but, I was on Vancouver again, Brian. That theory didn't ring true. I thought they could get it done. They lost in overtime. Dubois comes back and absolutely guts them. For the Jets. It's funny, when the Homa monies came in, that was the game that was left on the board. It was the last game of the night. I got it wrong, but I will say this: I don't love Edmonton the way most would like them in this spot. Vancouver's starting to play better, but Edmonton looks like they're on a heater. You're right. This team has really figured it out.
I got to do this, and this is going to be very odd for the folks. If on Monday you're listening straight through to the whole thing. Got to go back to Monday for a second because it's not on the board. It was a write-in game, Buffalo and the Islanders on Monday. And Buffalo beat the Devils on Saturday morning, lost Jake McCabe, which hurt them. They still can't get Ristolainen back, but I will say this, at long last, they played like they cared and realized they were getting paid, and Dylan Cousins got back in the lineup, Cam. This kid is such a difference maker. I mean, every shift he was out there was a difference maker. The Sabres, we'll see. They're going against the Islanders, who just frustrate the hell out of them on Monday. But then you come back Saturday, the COVID revenge angle works. Buffalo beat the Devils. The final score was 3-2. So now we're talking about Buffalo and New Jersey on Tuesday. It'll be back-to-back days for Buffalo, but the travel's a nothing burger. But on the game Saturday morning, Buffalo was by a mile the better team and then sat back with a 3-0 lead and was life and death to get it home at 3-2.
Yeah, they almost gave that game away. And it's funny, the Devils, they were up on Washington and they gave that game away. So interesting spot. I kind of lean New Jersey over Buffalo at a quarter at home, but I don't know when the Sabres are going to turn the corner. As for the Islander game, there's some teams that just can't handle some teams. The Islanders just seem to own the Sabres, Brian. I went over in these games, and every single time they've got together recently, they've gone under. Like, they're real defensive games. So, tough one. Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, no, I would say under, because the difference is with the Islanders game, and this is the hard thing to call, if the Islanders get a lead, the game's under. I mean, when the Islanders get a lead, then they go and they get 6 goalies on the ice. If the Islanders give up the first goal, then the game opens up. And you can't determine who's going to get the first goal of the game. But that's how the Islanders games are. If they get the lead, it shut it down.
For sure.
Left wing lock city.
I agree. And as for the Wednesday games, this is, Brian, you say it better than I do. We can't really, we're looking far ahead, but this is the one thing we do. We usually come back to a team that, didn't play their best, snake bitten, something like that. If the team wins the first game, you've talked about the over in the first game, under in the second game, and stuff like that. But these are a lot of rematches, right? Carolina plays Tampa again, Dallas and Florida, Calgary and Toronto.
Here, I got a couple.
Yep.
Let's start first of all. What we didn't mention on Dallas coming out of the gate on Monday is they've been off forever. They had also lost 5 in a row. So this should be a team in real ill humor, right? Now, coming off the layoff where you said they couldn't have practiced, I would say watch out for Dallas. Pending the result of Monday night, Dallas gets a game under their belt, and they're kind of desperate right now. I would look for Dallas to have what if they kill Florida in the first game? But I don't know. I would watch for Dallas to have a much better game, second game off the long layoff on Wednesday.
I agree. I still think they're going to have a good game the first off the layoff. We'll see what happens there. But Dallas is going to be an interesting team, Brian. We're going to keep our eyes on these guys. But you're right. And the way they lost heartbreakers too. Florida better bring their A game in this series because I'm feeling they're going to run into a buzzsaw in Dallas. Dallas is going to really, really work hard in those games. But, if Dallas loses the first to Florida, I'm coming back hard with them in game 2.
Now, here's one, and we'll see what the price is going to be because Philly's undermanned. But generally speaking, Cam, you've got teams that, go through all the pomp and circumstances and all the garbage that goes with the outdoor game and the blah, blah, blah. Then they got to get back up to speed for a regular game. I think New York, the Rangers are real dangerous against the Flyers. I always look to fade the teams coming out of the outdoor games. The difference, Colorado and Vegas are playing each other. I'd be looking to fade Philly and Boston first game outside of the outdoor games.
Yeah, and another thing about Philadelphia, how are their players? Are they going to be back? Remember, they missed tons of players in that outdoor game. That's part of the reason they got throttled by Boston, and they're good players too, right? So keep on top of that COVID situation with Philadelphia. They have a lot of guys that are, out. I don't know if they're going to be back by February the 24th. They should have some guys back, Brian. But here's one thing about the Rangers. They're playing better hockey. You see it. This team is starting to figure it out. And, I would lean Rangers in that spot over Philadelphia. Philadelphia, to me, has been a paper tiger. They're winning games. But all the games, if you really look, they've been very lucky in a lot of them. They haven't played their best hockey yet.
All right. We're doing this Monday.
Yeah.
All right. Now, and Minnesota's got a game in between, but just paying attention to all the stuff we've talked about. Minnesota's been on the road. Let me just count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the end of a 5-game road trip. So we're sitting there saying, Minnesota probably checks out. They want to get home. Colorado, they've been riding Grubauer like he's going out of style. They're not playing Vegas anymore. I absolutely would anticipate the backup goalie is going for Colorado, and their guys are going to be flying up and down. I think this is an over game. I would just say that. And now we're saying this to you 72 hours before, but all those things make sense. I would look for that to be a dead over game.
I would agree 100%. And would you take Colorado in parlays? Like, does Minnesota check out? They're already on the plane. Who knows? But
I couldn't bet. I mean, it's a letdown for Colorado after 4 games with Vegas, but Minnesota's doing the mental checkout thing. I wouldn't go anywhere near the side, but I think this is like if anything, if Minnesota checks out and it's a goofball game and maybe Colorado's playing the goal, it's like a 6-2 Colorado game, but I like the game to be high scoring.
I agree with you. I like the over in that game. And yeah, Colorado, the one thing about Minnesota is, like, you know, when they get with Anaheim and some of those other teams, they play unders. But what's the only way to play with Colorado? You think you're going to outscore these guys? So, yeah, I would expect them to take chances, and some of those chances mean pinching defensemen, get caught up. In Colorado, that's a team you don't want to play that way against. But it's the only way because they're so damn good. I like the over of that game too.
Well, there you go. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we got you covered as the NHL now gets to work on the indoor series. Their indoor hockey games, Kim. That was the point.
Yeah, no, I get it. I thought that was the end. I was just waiting, going bad joke. The ending there.
Either your internet connection's unstable or you're unstable.
No, you said the indoor game, but that was the end of the show.
No,
like it was, I was like, nice and clean. Yeah, okay.
No, the show ends when you do.
Oh, yeah, we're done. Be gone.
Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction, as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.